what is emotional regulation, and what would you say is the role of chiropractic neurology in emotional regulation?
So emotional regulate, like most systems in the nervous system that have a go also need a stop, right? Or else would be go 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 go, and we wouldn't be able to stop. So emotions, emotion, right? It's emotion. That's not a coincidence. The term actually
Yeah.
comes from the fact that it moves us, it energizes us, right? Emotions make us act. So that's very much a gas pedal sort of phenomenon when we talk about the nervous system. So emotional regulation is related to those circuits that are able to tone down the gas pedal or the behaviors. So it's turning down the volume. It's when you tell somebody who's a little bit anxious or flying off the handle, calm down. That's what emotional regulation is. It's the calming down of those energizing behaviors or emotions.
And would it be why physical activity has been proven to decrease stress because it involves movement? What would you say is your take on that?
Yeah, that's a really interesting way to think about it. We think of stress, for example, as the being in a fight or flight um, phenomenon, right? Fight or flight. So the fight or flight back in the day, the typical example is the tiger or the bear that pops out, and we either have to fight this animal to survive or we need to run away to survive. And today we don't have that kind of stress, but our survival stress is based more on our jobs, our relationships, our ability to make money. Safety is very different in a modern world. So yeah, that could be why we exercise is so good for us, because it taps into that same mechanism that our ancient brain or our ancestors' brain needed in order to
Mhm.
vent off that energy, right?
Because I mean, to actually run away or fight the tiger, you had to get physically involved, right? I mean, the very nature of the response had to be physical at a certain point in time to manage the stress. Now, whether or not you made it alive was the secondary thing, but at least you had to respond. So I find it interesting that, for example, in this context, we're being told to stay inside, and I understand why, but I think it's important for people to also consider that yes, you want to stay informed, you want to watch what we're being told to do, but not to forget to go out there and to move, because if you feel stressed from what's happening, maybe one way to fight that is not to watch an extra hour of live coverage on this COVID-19, but maybe it's to go for a jog, or because quite frankly, often enough, I find people try to reason their stress management and to just, try to work it out in their heads. Um, Hence the whole concept of embodiment, right? I was just speaking to a good friend of mine, Stéphane Leblanc. He's a mover and a shaker in terms of he wants to bring consciousness into the leadership consciousness into the business world. And a big part of that for him is to say, you know what, we need to get outside of our heads to create solutions to problems. Um, I know for a fact, I mean, not that I have as much hair as you do, but I know that when I actually shower and for the little bit that I have, when I wash my hair, might just be one of the times where I get most of my ideas in terms of business development and so forth. And I find it interesting because I'm not even thinking about trying to come up with solutions. I'm just physically active. I mean, like this is, so as stupid as it sounds, that's actually where I get, or when I do sports, when I'm training, I'll finish my workout and I'll be like, geez, this would be a good idea. And I wasn't trying to develop ideas. I was just actually not thinking. So
Makes perfect
for
sense.
me,
The old Einstein scenario where he had a walking path around his house, and every time he would get stuck on a problem, he would leave his desk and he'd go for a walk, and he kept
I
walking.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think he lived like quite far away from where he taught and where he worked, and he would walk to work, and he was a big proponent about this idea of physical activity for your mental state, and it's anybody who exercises, it's obvious, right? You feel better, you think clearer. It's really a fundamental need, I think, that we have for helping our nervous system, our brain work better I often say there's no amount of Sudoku puzzles that you can do that's better for your brain than exercise, right? It's and you said it perfectly. A lot of people try to think their way out of stress, which is fine. That's a part of it. We're blessed to have those capacities,
Right.
but we tend to forget. Let's face it. Most of our society is sedentary. We tend to forget the importance of movement.